You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric TripleE Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR. And today, man, the Giants lifeless yet again at the dish as the San Diego Padres won tonight 5-0 at Oracle Park. Only 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position for the Giants as they are shut out in back-to-back nights. Logan Webb got the start for the Giants today, but roughed up early in the first inning as Fernando Tatis Jr. launched a 2-run home run in the second at-bat of the game. And the Giants, as I said, just did not have that many scoring opportunities. And again, were hitless in all of these opportunities. Their last base runner came in the 6th inning. We'll break this one down. But first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed already. Thanks also for tuning in on the Locked On Giants podcast feed and making us your first listen following Giants games. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for your second listen following this episode for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play just $5. And Webb, as I said, was not great early on in this one. And as is the trend with Logan Webb, if he's going to give up runs, it's going to be early in the game. He was missing high a little bit, and not like super high. You know, it's not like he was like missing Kyle Harrison high, but he was missing high for Logan Webb, which means fastball's kind of right down the middle of the plate sometimes. That Tatis home run came on a changeup that was just like about thigh high, but just high enough that Tatis was able to get all of that one and smash it out for a 2-run home run. He gave up a single to Arise to lead off the game. And then after getting Profar to ground out, he gave up a single to Manny Machado. And then a Xander Bogaerts double scores Machado, who advanced to second after wild pitch from Logan Webb. So really not a great outing for Webby on his first for this first inning. He was actually bailed out by a Pat Bailey backdoor at second base, which would have been really cool, man, if this came in a win. But it's hard to celebrate things like that when the Giants are losing games the way that they have been as of late. Then in the bottom of the first, the Giants got 2 of their 3 at-bats with runners in scoring position. Mike Yastrzemski drew a walk, and after an Elliot Ramos strikeout, Lamont Wade Jr. singled, got runners at first and third for the Giants in the bottom of that first inning. And then back-to-back shallow flyouts, fails to score a run for the Giants. And that was pretty much their best scoring opportunity, save 4 in the bottom of the 6th. Pat Bailey doubled with Ramos on first base, and he was thrown out at the dish. A great tag from the Padres catcher, great relay, a great play all around defensively by the Padres. Had to be perfect, and it was to get Ramos. I don't hate the decision to send him there because as is evident by this game, the Giants just don't have all that many opportunities to get these runners in. So you got to be ultra aggressive in these situations and hope that it pays off. Put the pressure on the other team to make a play. And credit the Padres, they made a play, especially that catcher, man. He tagged Ramos's left hand. He slid to the outside of the bag and tried to swipe at that base with the left hand, and the catcher put the tag directly on that big old oven mitt. Never let Ramos swipe that home plate. He never touched the bag. And that was the last base runner of the game for the Giants. It was a Pat Bailey double. And Giants got thrown out at the dish on it. So the rest of this way, Giants didn't do a damn thing at the plate. And the Giants actually struck out the side struck out multiple times. The bottom of the 5th, the bottom of the 3rd. The Giants were just so bad at the dish again. They had 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the 7th. This team is lifeless right now at the plate. We've talked about this over and over and over again. 12 strikeouts for the Giants and only 2 walks. And they only got 4 hits in this one. You look at the Padres, it's not a lot different from what they did, the strikeouts walk ratio. They struck out 11 times and only walked once. But they had 12 hits. And with runners in scoring position, they had 14 at-bats. They only got 3 hits in these situations, but it was enough opportunities that eventually something happened for them, and they won 5-0. The Giants fall now to 72-76 on the season. The Padres are 83-65. Dylan Cease got the start for the Padres, and this guy has been pretty good against the Giants this year. He's been striking out a lot of Giants so far, and this might be the last time the Giants face him. He struck out 10 Giants in this one, only walked 2 in his 6 innings of work, gave up all 4 of those hits that the Giants picked up, and obviously didn't give up any runs because the Giants did not score any at all tonight. So Dylan Cease leads the league in strikeouts, and the Giants, well, they're third highest, or they have the third most strikeouts in all of baseball since August 1st, in just about a month and a half. The only 2 teams with more strikeouts than them are the Red Sox and the Rockies. That's not great. You never want to be top 5 or top 3 in Major League Baseball in strikeouts. And it's just how things have been lately. I feel like we're just talking the other day about the number of double-digit strikeout games that the Giants have had. It's astronomical. I mean, this team does not seem like they can really do anything at all at the plate other than swing and miss, and it's not really getting any better. I mean, you look at this box score tonight for the Giants. There were only 3 guys who didn't strike out: Gerard Encarnacion, Matt Chapman, Lamont Wade Jr. and Pat Bailey. Matt Chapman struck out twice, 0-for-4. Pat Bailey did not strike out, and he had 2 of the Giants' 4 hits in this one. So we got to give Bailey a little bit of credit because he has been down so bad lately, has been hitting a little bit better, not for power, mind you, at all. That double is about as much power as Pat Bailey is going to get out of that bat in this late season, but he's been figuring out how to get on base, how to slap some singles, and still contribute to this Giants team. And if you noticed, Tyler Fitzgerald, nowhere to be seen in this Giants lineup tonight. He had, of course, exited early yesterday with back tightness in that 3rd inning. He said at postgame yesterday that he kind of felt the back being an issue pregame yesterday, and of course did not make it out there today. We didn't see him at all. And then in the 9th inning, not only did the Padres score another run just for fun, Machado double added on the lead, gave him an extra run to make it 5-0. And but then we had another incident in center field with a young Giants center fielder crashing into the wall when he's leaping to make a catch in a meaningless game. Like, I mean, come on, Grant McCrae. I know you want to leave it all out there, and I don't blame the kid. He's a rookie. He's going to be trying to make every single play that comes his way and earn a spot on next year's team as a starter. He's still fighting for that. But I need my guy to stay healthy. You're not going to be starting next year if you're starting the year on, with a bum shoulder because you pulled a Jung-Hoo Lee and crashed into the wall. And that's exactly what happened with Grant McCrae there in the 9th inning. There was a Machado deep drive to center field, and McCrae started out going back, looking over his left shoulder, tracking that ball, realized he needed to turn around, switched up his body position to look over his right shoulder, found that ball, jumped into the air, tried to position himself to make the catch, and as he did that, he collided with the center field wall. His left elbow looked like it was the first thing that connected with that wall, and his arm was bent at an awkward position, and it looked like it jammed straight into his shoulder / neck, like his elbow hit the wall, and it just jammed up into his body. And afterwards, the Giants didn't come out and really take a look at him. I'm sure he signaled to them that he was just fine, but play continued, and he stayed in the game, and the camera stayed on him in center field for a while, and he was not looking like he was taking some inventory out there for sure. He was kept looking down at that left arm and extending that elbow and feeling around and looking like he's trying to stretch out his neck / elbow / shoulder. So like the whole left side just looked very uncomfortable for Grant McCrae. And this is the last thing the Giants need, man. We already had the injury bug happen earlier this year. We do not need the injury bug to be infecting all of the young Giants. I mean, man, like we already had all the pitchers get hurt earlier this year and just basically decimate the middle of this Giants season. And now we have 2 of the brightest prospects for next season already kind of, not healthy to end the season, and that's not where you want to be. This is the last thing that we have to look forward to at the end of this Giants season, is seeing which one of these rookies can make a name for themselves in this last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and solidify a spot for themselves on next year's roster and in next year's starting rotation, starting lineup. And I was really excited to watch Grant McCrae finish out the season and get these last couple of weeks of run. In that same vein, why are we sending Luis Matos down to TripleA? I know he has not been great, and the Giants probably want to see some more guys. And they did bring up Donovan Walton, who was able to, who got into the game at second base today. And this guy is kind of interesting. We can talk about him a little bit later, but he did pitch and play the field in AAA Sacramento. So curious to see if he does a little bit of two-way stuff for the Giants here at the big league level. That might be a little interesting piece to watch for as this season winds down. But ultimately for the Giants today, way too many strikeouts yet again for a team that just can't hit. They just can't hit. They look lost in the batter's box. A lot of these strikeouts just look really, really, really awful too. Like swinging at pitches that are in the dirt, are multiple feet outside of the strike zone. 12 strikeouts for the Giants. 10 of them came against Dylan Cease, who is he's towards the top in strikeouts. I think he's at the top for most strikeouts in Major League Baseball. He definitely has the most strikeouts on his slider, most strikeouts with the slider in all of baseball. And the Giants really, adding to that total for him tonight. Not great for the Giants. Just really, really, really tough out there for them to do. I mean, anything on there. We say it a lot on this show, but Giants again couldn't hit water, fell out of a boat. A lot of injuries starting to mount up. But as I didn't say this in the top of the show, the one thing that we can look forward to right now, the one thing that we got some good news on, Bryce Eldridge is AAA bound. We'll get into that a little bit more on. Let's tease that up a little bit later in the show. We'll do that in our third segment. But on the other side, I want to talk more about what Dylan Cease was doing up there on the mound that was so effective, and what Logan Webb was doing on the mound that just wasn't quite as effective as he has been in the past. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric TripleE Engel. We'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by TonaI. For those of us who thrive on getting stuff done, including workouts, every minute counts. That's why you need TonaI, the smart strength training system that takes the guesswork out of working out so you can make sure you're making the most out of every rep. TonaI is the world's smartest and most effective strength training system that helps you get stronger. Powered by AI, TonaI learns with every rep so it can deliver workouts personalized just for you. TonaI learns from your movement and provides suggested weight recommendations for every move with detailed progress reports. They even create personalized programs and workout suggestions or recommendations based on your individual goals. It's like having a personal trainer at home with you, as TonaI will optimize every workout just for you. Unlike traditional gym equipment, TonaI uses adaptive digital weight to advance your training techniques. From professional athletes to the mom of three, TonaI is trusted by thousands who have become their strongest. Right now, TonaI is offering our listeners $200 off your TonaI purchase with promo code LockedOnMLB. That's TonaI.com and use promo code LockedOnMLB for $200 off your purchase. That's TonaI.com, promo code LockedOnMLB for $200 off. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric TripleE Engel, and today the Giants, man, they're just unable to hit a baseball as they strike out a bunch of times and don't get any hits. And again, shutout. I mean, so many times this season, shutout again tonight, back-to-back nights with shutouts for the Giants now. And this is getting old, man. I'm getting really tired of watching this team up there just swinging and missing. And tonight, the Giants did a whole lot of that. Dylan Cease generated 22 swings and misses. Giants swung 50 times. That's good enough for a 44% whiff rate. Are you kidding me? I mean, the Giants win. I mean, I was ripping them for, making fun of, Cy Young Savali, for Aaron Savali, just mowing down Giants batters, but the two starts that he had against them within this last month. And he's obviously nowhere near a Cy Young, but you talk about a guy like Dylan Cease, who absolutely has Cy Young caliber pitches. I mean, the way that this guy can just strike anybody out in any situation, if this guy puts it all together, is absolutely the type of pitcher that could profile to win a Cy Young. But tonight, he looked exceptionally good against the Giants. And the Giants, when they're facing a guy who's pretty mid, like Aaron Savali, the Giants can make him look pretty good. When they're facing a guy who doesn't need any help looking good, he looks outstanding. And that's exactly what the case was with Dylan Cease tonight. That slider that we were talking about, 57% swing and miss rate on that. He got 13 swings and misses, 23 swings. That was a lot for the Giants to handle. And when they did make contact, they just fouled the ball off a lot. 7 foul balls, only 3 balls in play off that slider. So the Giants really not doing a good job of anything when it came to trying to make contact with whatever Dylan Cease was throwing up there. They also couldn't hit the knuckle curve. He only threw it 7 times, but got 4 swings and misses, and he got 5 with the 4-seam fastball, which he threw 45 times. So Cease ultimately, that all amounted to 10 strikeouts for the guy over 6 innings of work. And that's not, anything to sneeze at, because Dylan Cease is in the top 10% of baseball in whiff rate, strikeout rate. But I do want to point out, he's got a 32% whiff rate that's like throughout the season. Today, it was 44%. So the Giants are exceptionally bad at hitting baseballs. That is the whole point here. Dylan Cease, really good at striking people out. Giants also really good at letting people strike them out. And that equated to a whole lot of bad offense for the Giants. It's really as simple as that. It's hard to really dive too far into anything else. This is abysmal right now. I mean, just so hard to watch too, because I'm sitting here trying to glean something for next year, something that I can, talk with you guys about for just a half an hour. And this team is so boring that there's just not a whole lot to talk about when they go out there every single night and they just strike out repeatedly, constantly. It is so hard to watch. It is so boring. I mean, you could at least put the ball in play, make the other team make a play, try and play some defense. Something that, by the way, the Giants had another error tonight. We didn't go over that yet. Logan Webb in the fourth inning, he's got 2 outs. He's got a runner at second, and he gets a dribbler in between that lands in between the catcher and the pitcher. And Webb waves off Bailey, says, I got this one. Webby picks it up, and Webby throws that ball into right field, or into the where the bullpen used to be down the right field line at Oracle. And that runner from second, because there was 2 outs, he was moving on contact. He scored. So the Giants, I mean, just doing everything they can to not win baseball games, making errors in the field. I'm not gonna. I don't ever like talking about Logan Webb having a bad game, but Webby really didn't do himself any favors here in that situation. You could see it was eating at him. You could see the frustration all over his face, his body language, and everybody's frustrated at this point. I don't blame him. Look at my face. Look at my body language. I'm frustrated too, man. This Giants team is just so, I mean, if you're going to be bad, at least be interesting. This team is boring as hell, man. Like this team is so hard to watch. As I said, their last base runner came in the 6th inning when they got tagged out at the plate after a Pat Bailey double. We talked about how we were going to get into Logan Webb and what he didn't do so great today. So let's get into that a little bit before we take a break here. Logan Webb, man, 42 sinkers, 26 sweepers, 7 changeups. 7 changeups, man, just 8% of his pitches tonight. He clearly just abandoned it. I mean, Tatis mashed that one early on, and Logan Webb just gave up on it after. Of the 7 changeups he tossed, 8 of them were 3 of the balls were hit into play. Only 8% of his pitches today were changeups. 3 balls in play off the 7 changeups. That's a pretty high rate for Logan Webb in what was, one of the most valuable pitches in all of baseball last year. Logan Webb just did not look like Logan Webb today, man. He was not using his sinker to set up that changeup. That was just not what we were seeing from him. It wasn't working. And when Logan Webb doesn't have the changeup working, he's a different guy out there on the mound. He did not I mean, he didn't do really what Logan Webb does, which is get a bunch of ground ball outs and pitch efficiently. And he did get some ground ball outs today. He got 5 of them, but not super efficient like he normally is. Logan Webb, 83 pitches, 52 of them for strikes. So, I mean, still a decent strike to ball ratio, but not what we are used to seeing from Logan Webb, and only 4 innings on the hill. And that's really all you need to know about a Logan Webb outing is how long was he on the mound for? And that kind of tells you what kind of day it was. Because this is a guy who, I mean, prides himself on pitching deep into games, 7+ innings, so many times in this season. He has been one of the best pitchers at pitching deep into games in all of Major League Baseball, not just for the National League or not just for the Giants, but he has been one of the best at doing this all season long. He's done it 15 different times, the most in the majors, and only 3 other Giants have finished 7 innings. Blake Snell's done it 4 times, Jordan Hicks did it once, and Kyle Harrison did it once as well. So Logan Webb really doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the Giants in his long outings, but it's tough when you don't have your best pitch working. And that is what the changeup is for Logan Webb. That is absolutely his best pitch. He generated exactly 0 swings and misses off of it. And that was the difference today. Was Logan Webb didn't really have his stuff going. He didn't have his changeup going. Dylan Cease did have his best pitch, that slider, going pretty effectively for him. And that's, I mean, that was the difference in this one. Logan Webb, I mean, just after the second at bat of the game, this one was already insurmountable for the Giants. That 2-0 lead, the way this Giants offense was playing today, would have held up, I mean, the entire rest of the way. So second at bat of the game, the Giants had already lost this one out at Oracle Park. Happy Orange Friday, everybody. I mean, if there's one thing that we can at least, talk about positively before we just drive ourselves completely insane from all the negativity surrounding this team right now, it's that Bryce Eldridge is absolutely blasting his way through the minor leagues. This guy, I am so impressed with this kid. He just got promoted to TripleE, headed to Sacramento after just 9 games in AA. We gotta talk about Bryce Eldridge on the other side, because we're talking about positives that we can hold on to for next year. And this is one of the biggest positives in the entire Giants organization right now. Probably the single biggest positive, if you had to ask me, is this 19-year-old first baseman, Bryce Eldridge. So let's get into it on the other side. Eldridge promoted to TripleE. We'll get into it all on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric TripleE Engel. We'll be right back. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch those winnings roll in. Right now, you can win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. And today's show is also sponsored by FanDuel. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you now through September 22nd. All FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a free 3-week free trial on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel any time. And if that's not enough, be sure to check out FanDuel's Profit Boost in the app and use it for FanDuel's double your winnings for all of Sunday this weekend on September 15th. Pregame moneyline bets. Profit Boost will be live starting Thursday 9/12. So it's live right now, started yesterday. View your account page now to learn more about your boost. And let me tell you guys, right now, I'm sitting there looking at the lines for the NFL slate this weekend, and I have no idea why the Rams are getting points against the Arizona Cardinals. I understand Puka Nacua is injured, but my God, run to your FanDuel. Run, don't walk. Run to your FanDuel account right now and get those get that bet in on the Rams plus points. Are you kidding me? They're going to win that game outright. Take the Rams plus the points and thank me later. And of course, get in on that Niners 4.5 against the Vikings. Come on. You know the Niners are covering that. So lay the points with the Niners and go take the Rams plus the points for whatever reason. Go just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric TripleE Engel, and today the Giants, well, they fall 5-0 to the San Diego Padres. The Giants not looking very good. They're striking out more than damn near any team in all of baseball. Since August 1st, they are third in strikeouts in all of baseball, only trail the Rockies and the Red Sox. And I mean, it's just double-digit strikeout game after double-digit strikeout game. And the Giants are just not a good offensive team, just not a good offensive team. And what they really could use, what really help them out is a guy in the middle of the order who's a threat every time around to, hurt you a lot on the other side of the ball. So, Chapman's been nice, but he can't do it all by himself. He needs some help, man. And Bryce Eldridge could be this bat in the middle of the Giants order. Earlier this season, I jokingly said, Bryce Eldridge, if he keeps playing like this, maybe he's going to be up to the bigs by this time next year. And that was like around the All-Star break. Well, my God, if this kid keeps doing what he's doing, he actually might do that. And I said that completely tongue-in-cheek. Like, that was not me like throwing out a real prediction. That was a joke. And I might have stumbled, broken clocks right twice a day. Maybe TripleE stumbled onto something here, but man, this kid, just 9 games in AA, and he is already up in AAA Sacramento. This season, his slash line, 294, 376, 535 with 23 home runs and 90 RBIs across 3 different levels this year. And for a guy to start the season at high A and end the season at AAA, that is a huge jump. Massive jump for this kid. He's 19 years old. They drafted this guy right out of high school, 16th overall pick, and he looks every bit the part. Of course, they drafted him originally as a two-way player. He is no longer messing around with that two-way stuff. He seems to have found what he does pretty well. And that's hit the damn ball. And the Giants, when's the last time that they had a power hitting first baseman? JT Snow? My God, if they had like a legitimate power hitting first baseman. I liked Brandon Belt for all those years. Don't get me wrong, but this guy never turned into the power hitter that we all thought that he would be when he was a prospect in the Giants system. Bryce Eldridge has more power than Brandon Belt ever did at 19 years old. Bryce Eldridge could be that corner power hitter that the Giants have just lacked in this lineup for so long. And with Matt Chapman already kind of being that guy a little bit for the Giants this year, not a 30 home run guy, but Bryce Eldridge could absolutely be a 30, 40 home run guy. Really, he could be a 40 plus home run guy every season in the bigs. He's got light tower power. This guy is, amazing at the dish. And for as bad as the Giants have been, he's not just a home run threat. He's batting around 300 too. So the Giants need to not strike out so much. And that will help next year when Jung-Hoo Lee comes back. But I'm not expecting that Bryce Eldridge is going to come up next season and make an immediate impact or anything like that. Let me get that out of the way right now. I would, if he keeps going at this rate, which I don't really see why he wouldn't. I'm kind of thinking this kid actually will come up next season at some point. I am not expecting him to be the savior of the franchise at 19 or 20 years old when he does come up next season. If he does come up next season, you can't put that much pressure on a kid like that. But That how incredible would that be to see a kid who can't even walk down to the to the high dive afterwards and grab a celebratory cocktail after a Giants win, can't go over to Frankie's and grab a beer and a hot dog for $10 before the game. He can't do either of those things, but he could go up there and hit 10, 15 home runs maybe in a condensed look for the Giants next season in a condensed stint with the team. Like maybe he comes up for the last couple months of the season next year, depending on where the team's at. Maybe if the team is in a position to make the playoffs, maybe we'll see Bryce in some playoff action next year. How incredible would that be? And that's all possible. I should mention, by the way, this was first reported by Kylie McDaniel of ESPN. This guy was all over it. So shout out Kylie McDaniel for getting this info out there. Looks like he covers a lot of minor league baseball. So yeah, Bryce Eldridge, man, look forward to Bryce Eldridge in a Giants big league uni. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. I mean, we heard about Marco Luciano for forever before we actually saw him. Well, we're not going to have to hear about Bryce Eldridge for too long before seeing what he's got at the big league level. I think we will see him at some point next season. Just give the kid a little bit of time to grow. Keep in mind, he's, 19 years old right now, but 9 games in AA to show that that's all you need before going up to AAA. This kid's on the fast track, and I'm excited, man. I am excited for this guy. What I'm not very excited for is watching more Giants at bats in 2024 and watching more strikeouts, because that's how this is just going to go. Another not very clean defensive game for the Giants. Another game where the Giants strike out double-digit times and walk just twice. Another game where the Giants, 4 hits and fail to score a run, shutout in back-to-back outings. As you lose to the Padres, and they're now 72-76 on the season. The Giants are. The Padres 83-65. That's all the time we got for you guys today. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric TripleE Engel. We'll be coming to you live tomorrow with the Locked On Giants postcast, as we always do, as the Giants take on the Padres. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.